Hello, very good afternoon dear students. Let us discuss today's in fact June 27th news paper, The Hindu. Today is the last date for submitting your application for the Grameen Bank examination, IBPS RRB examination. I am very sure that all my students have already applied because all these days I have been insisting upon submitting the application at the earliest. So, you would have done so, but for any reason if anybody has missed it, you may please apply it as soon as possible, today itself, maybe within a couple of hours time. It is a great opportunity. The vacancies are limited to that particular state, so the competition will be only state wise. So, it is a great chance. Apply for the exams and start preparing. Just follow the app, that would be enough, that is my confidence. So, we shall start with the news analysis. June 27 is the major news item. Government raises alert on Delta plus, a new variant of the coronavirus. So, it is a variant of concern, it is declared a variant of concern. It is a transmission capacity is very, very high. Omar seeks delimitation statehood before election. These are the two major news. So, Omar seeks delimitation statehood before election. I briefed you about Kashmir issue a few days ago. In 2019 August, the Government of India abrogated Article 370 that conferred special status to J&K along with Article 35A. So, these two articles, Article 370 which confers special status to J&K and Article 35A which relates to land, occupation of land, purchase of land, ownership of land in Kashmir. Both these articles were abrogated by the government, and the government divided Kashmir into two union territories, the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir and the union territory of Ladakh. Government said that Ladakh will be a union territory without a legislature, meaning the central government will directly rule, and Jammu and Kashmir will be a union territory with a legislature. For the past 2 years, central rule has been imposed in both Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the Government of India proposes to initiate the electioneering process in J&K. As a part of it, the Government of India invited, Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited leaders of various political parties of Jammu and Kashmir. All the political parties of Jammu and Kashmir attended the meeting in Delhi, and now the leaders say that they want first delimitation, then statehood, and then only the elections. That is the acceptable proposition to them. So, recently leaders visited Prime Minister in Delhi, and now they say that this is their formula. First, there must be delimitation of constituencies. Second, statehood must be granted. Only after that election can be held. That is a demand of the leaders of Jammu and Kashmir. Since February pact, it is all quiet on the line of control. I think it is an old news. It could be a mistake from my technical team. Of course, we discussed it a few days ago. Since February pact between Pakistan and India in 2003, India and Pakistan entered into a ceasefire agreement across the border, and adhered to 2003 ceasefire. Yeah, and it was kept for long time, but recently the India-Pakistan relationship ruptured, and there had been ceasefire violations. But in February 2021, the Government of India and Government of Pakistan decided to adhere to the 2003 agreement, and ever since then there is no infiltration across the line of control, and the line of control is quiet. Line of control divides India and Pakistan. This particular book title has to be noted down, Anomalies in Law and Justice, and it is written by former Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Ravindran. Anomalies in Law and Justice. Anomalies in Law and Justice, written by Justice Ravindran. Activists seek 50 more days of work under NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. MNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. It is the biggest demand driven rural guarantee scheme of the world. MNREGA scheme guarantees 100 days of non-skilled employment for every rural household each year. Every rural household will be given 100 days of employment, and it is for non-skilled, not skilled employment, non-skilled employment. It is a demand driven job guarantee program, meaning if somebody demands for a job, it must be given. That is it. That is why it is called demand driven. Throughout 2021-22, 70 lakh households completed 100 days of work. During 2021-22, 70 lakh households completed 100 days of employment. The current year figure may exceed last year's thanks to COVID. Listen, COVID exerts huge pressure on population. People do not have job. That is why demand for MNREGA increased. So now many people are asking that instead of 100 days of guaranteed employment, it must be increased to 150 days, because people need money, people need job. Chauvin gets 22 years in jail for Floyd's death. Unfortunate incident that took place in May 2020 in United States of America. Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison for murdering George Floyd, a black man, and he pressed him under his knees and he breathed to his last. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison. He was charged with murder of George Floyd. George Floyd took his last gasps under Chauvin's knee during the police operation. It was a very unfortunate incident, and that ravaged United States of America. There were huge protests. Blacks' Life Matter. There were plenty of protests all across the United States of America, and including in the world, and it was an eye-opener. After many years and centuries, still blacks are seen as second-rate citizens. So it was a situation, it was an event that shocked United States of America. On May 25, 2020, Derek Chauvin, American police officer, pressed his knee against Floyd's neck for 9.5 minutes, and the 46-year-old Floyd gasped that he could not breathe, and he went limp. He was crying, he was saying that I could not breathe, please leave me. But the police officer pressed his knee further on his neck, and he breathed his last. This incident was instrumental in the biggest outcry against racial injustice in the US in generations. Very true. The incident was instrumental in the biggest outcry against racial injustice in the United States in generations. US will continue to back Afghanistan. Afghanistan story we told continuously all these days. Still I shall brief. United States of America's Twin Towers in Manhattan were attacked by Al-Qaeda forces led by Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda flew suicide bombers, and for the first time in human history, civilian aircrafts were used as weapons, and the aircrafts ran into Twin Towers, and the rest is history. America lost more than 3,000 citizens of theirs. America immediately declared war on terror. America, along with the NATO, invoked Article 5 of NATO and went for a worldwide hunt for Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, the Saudi national, a terrorist, was spotted in Afghanistan. That was the reason why American and NATO forces landed in Afghanistan and made their military station. Ever since then, for the past 20 years, America and NATO forces have been occupying in Afghanistan. America could not locate Osama bin Laden anywhere in Afghanistan, and finally only a few years ago that Osama bin Laden was located in a place called Abbottabad near to Islamabad in Pakistan. Once Osama bin Laden was captured and killed, America's interest in Afghanistan waned. So what happened? Ever since then, America wanted to pull out of Afghanistan, and the previous government of United States under the leadership of Donald Trump declared that by May 2021 America would start pulling out of Afghanistan, and the pullout has already started, and they want to end the pullout on September 11, 2021, which will mark the 20th year of American attack by Osama bin Laden, the Manhattan Twin Towers attack of Osama bin Laden. So all these years America has been supporting the formal official Afghanistan government, and it was fought by American government. It was and the Taliban forces, the terrorist Taliban forces, the ultra nationalist, ultra Islamist Taliban forces have been attacking continuously the official Afghan government. Now almost a substantial percentage of rural Afghanistan is under the control of Taliban, and once the NATO American forces leave Afghanistan, the official Afghanistan government will be under deep trouble, and Taliban may soon capture Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan. US promised that, visiting Afghan president, that it would help Afghan politically as well as financially post pullout. Even after the pullout is completed, America will support Afghanistan both financially and politically. That is the assurance given by Afghanistan by the American president. The US plans to complete pulling out of Afghanistan by September 11, 2021. It was after September 11, 2001 Twin Tower attack that US and NATO forces landed in Afghanistan. The Taliban forces are increasing their grip over the country. So this is briefly about Afghanistan. I told you the same story all these days, but very important in the days to come too. Thank you, my dear students, for the kind attention. Tomorrow we shall meet again at 3 o'clock. Today there will be a live session, and kindly attend that too. Today is the last day to apply for the rural bank examination. Within an hour, if anybody hasn't applied, must apply. Thank you. We shall meet again. Goodbye.